So, When Crickets Cry by...
Charles Martin.
Do you see, we planned that.
Yeah.
We didn't. Basically, I never know the author's name because it's not important. It's stories that we're interested in.
I always know the author's name for whatever reason.
But yes. What did you think of the book?
I thought it was very good, to be fair. I thought it was...
Very good.
I was going to say it was a slow start. It really wasn't a slow start at all. It wasn't a slow start at all, in my opinion. In my opinion, it wasn't. Look, in my opinion, a slow start is like when nothing's happening and you're literally just like wasting time until you get into the plot. There was things happening, like, you know, the bus crash, whatever, hitting, what's her name?
Yeah.
This guy talking about.
Yeah.
Honestly, the audiobooks definitely make it easier with a slow start. If you're reading, slow start's going to be way worse because you've at least got man with his southern accent to entertain you.
Yeah.
Which...
What I would say, if you haven't read this book, When Crickets Cry by...
Charles Martin.
Pause the video, go read it, read at least 10 chapters, come back, listen to this. It is well worth the read. I recommend it. I wouldn't go out of my way to recommend it. If someone said, I want a good book, go and read that. It's very, very good book.
I'd recommend it more than some of the books we've read. A lot more.
Oh, come on. But yeah, my first point is he's not going to give his heart to the girl, is he? Surely not. Have I guessed the whole plot from the first chapter?
Do you know what's funny? I didn't think about that. I never saw it as a realistic possibility simply because the book is narrated from first person. You cannot do that first person. The laws do not allow for it. You can't have the first person character die in the book. So who's narrating? Do you see what I'm saying?
You know,
it just
I
wasn't
didn't
possible.
think of that, you know.
It's just not logistically possible.
So is that bad to write first person books then? Because
I never write first person. Personally, as a writer, I would never do it just because it limits you with what you can do and who you can kill off, basically, and other things like that.
That's actually a good point. You've blown my mind now.
I would
so
never
any first person book, we know they don't die.
We know they don't die.
Straight
Because
away.
think about it as like a movie where it's been narrated. And it'd be like, the character dies at the end. You'd be like, so when did you narrate this? Do you see what I'm saying? When exactly was you saying all of this? Remember even in Kick-Ass, where he was getting the shit beat out of him, and then he was like, "If so sure I'm gonna survive because you could hear my voice. Stop being such a smart ass." I was just like, this is why you don't do it. You're handicapping yourself.
Okay, alright, cool. Go on.
Yeah. I said definitely entertaining reading so far. The accent of the reader is making the characters engaging, which I haven't decided if that's cheating yet or not. I don't know.
I told you this. I told you audiobooks
that's
are
true.
best.
And then I tried it based on what you said. But I'm just saying I haven't decided whether it's cheating or not.
What do you mean cheating?
It should be considered, like if you're using an accent.
That's like saying, making Harry Potter films cheating.
It's not like that at all.
It enhances the stories in some way.
It's a story about something.
Well, it's like, what? How can the audiobook be cheated but a film's not cheating?
Because a film's a film, it's not a book. You're not reading. Audiobook is considered to still be reading.
Alright, so what? Watching a film in 3D is cheating then?
Yes. Yes.
Watching a film in the cinema versus watching it at home is cheating?
No, because you're paying extra for a different experience. Whereas...
Did you not pay for the audiobook?
Yes.
No, you didn't.
No, I'm joking. I did. Of course I did.
You know you can get them free on YouTube, but it's like they're read out by Siri and it's dead.
Oh, is it? It's not worth it. Well, look, you're gonna pay that price somewhere. There's no such thing as a free lunch. You're gonna pay the deficit somewhere.
Yeah.
And it's in quality.
So he seems to like this doomed girl. Why would you even begin to get involved with somebody who's on the way out? Relationships are challenging enough without the premise of heart surgery.
Literally.
You know, I think this was in the beginning. I mean, this goes for both girls, Annie and the other one.
I was about to say.
Why would you? If my son came home and brought some girl that's half dead, I'd say, son, get in and get out.
Bro, it's not even a joke.
Like, why? Like, I mean, he dedicated his whole fucking life to the girl.
Bro, I even said, bro, you've done it before. You've literally done this already, and it broke you. And here you are trying to do it again. Yeah, are you okay? Switch on, man. You need to switch on.
Can you imagine this guy? You know, he's an amazing surgeon, right? But we never found out what he actually wants to do, because from when he met this girl from young, he's just dedicated his life to saving her life.
That's one issue I have with his character, to be fair. Maybe he wanted to go to college, like Percy Jackson. I'm joking. But he really did, to be fair. He went to Harvard. But he didn't really have much motivation for his life. His motivation revolved solely around this Emma girl, which he failed to like come on. Like, your whole motivation for existing was from he was literally, like you said, from he was a child.
I put, was the action scene of Annie getting hit by a truck not enough action while we had this main actor fighting two men at the same time? Yeah. All he needed to say was, I'm a doctor, instead of beating up people who was concerned for Annie. Would that have been okay if he was beating up two women?
I had a similar point. I would have thought it was okay.
It would have been better.
It would have been better. Literally would have been better.
That.
I thought it would have been okay, but it's the kind of thing where I literally said, like, would they have reacted like that if it had been a woman who'd responded to Annie first? If it had been a woman,
yeah, but either way, if someone is doing all of that, you know they're trained. Like, you don't gotta.
Well, look, we know now in a vacuum, but it's like if you go out on the street, you see a bus hit somebody, you see somebody run over them, you don't know what you might think.
I'm telling you,
you might know you won't think that.
No, I'm telling you, God forbid, right? Something happened to my siblings or whatever, young siblings, something hits them. If a man runs over, I was checking it, bro, I'm gonna assume it's not like she's sleeping, there's a man in her room touching her or something like that.
I mean, yeah.
You know, it's a scene.
Yeah,
what are you doing?
That's what they're supposed to do, this is his job. But like you said, he could have just said, I'm a doctor. For some reason, he just seemed to not want to tell anyone he was a doctor.
But why? But, oh yeah, that's...
He didn't want to tell anyone he was a doctor. Remember when he had his wallet and it was like, where's your ID? And he was like, well, they got it inside. Remember?
Oh yeah, okay, that does make sense. But the fighting and all of that never came back up, you know.
Yeah, why? Like,
just
bro,
one
so
fight scene.
Medical school, you went to military school, you learned like how many... Where did you find time for all this? And you read every single book in the world, plus Shakespeare, plus Heart books, plus everything. It's ridiculous. Don't know where you find the time for this. I said I feel like lemonade squeezed by a child from the deep south for 50 cents, not 50 cents, 50 cents would slap harder than any other lemonade. When I was talking about it, I was literally just like, this lemonade sounds so good, just because it's from lemonade. The deep south, literally 50 cents.
Chapter 8. So I'm guessing that Emma is the mum of this lemonade girl. And he's the dad. I assume Emma didn't make it through childbirth or something like that. And the dad couldn't bear to see or take care of the child. That's my guess.
That would have been horrible if they turned out to be that. I would have hated that.
Well, that's what... listen, I did not have high hopes for this book. I'm just trying to guess the plot. Just like, whatever. Like,
I would literally have hated it. If they had made that out to be the case, I'm like, say you just randomly bumped into your own daughter. Just out of nowhere, selling lemonade, and she's got the same. That would have made sense to be fair, because these problems are hereditary.
Yeah, but this is why. So this is why I thought. Because this is the thing, right? That would have made more sense than what actually happened. He just bumped into some random girl,
that just happened to have
it happened to have a heart condition, and
the whole the whole reason for his existence. Yeah, established before.
That was a bit.
It could have been definitely was a little bit on the nose. My initial reaction to Reese meeting Annie was she's robbing him. Straight away. My first thought when they was at the lemonade stand and they was talking, having their little cutesy conversation. Yeah, I was like, straight away she's robbing him. Someone's robbing him. She's a distraction. Straight away. Maybe that's the South London in me. Maybe that's what it is. But straight away, I said, you are being robbed, sir. Check your pockets. Check your inventory.
Chapter 15. I've skipped ahead. I always do this. I'll let you say a couple. For some reason, the author is trying to indoctrinate us and also weaponize morality. We join the main character on a flashback to when he was in school, and one of the boys brought in a Playboy magazine, and he claimed to know what he was seeing was wrong. And whoever took the pictures was a pretty sick person. Is it necessary to try and suggest that porn magazines are wrong? You know, it's indoctrination. Technically,
yeah, it technically was indoctrination.
There's nothing wrong with.
And I was also thinking that, bro, there is no boy his age who's gonna say that. You might even think it. That's rare enough to think it.
Yeah.
But to say it and to stand up to your friends in that way, she would defend humanity.
Let's put this
he's
magazine.
Wrong. There's no way he's doing it. He's looking at them. Do you know what? The author tried to save himself a little bit because he was like, "Oh, of course I wanted to see some naked women."
Yeah.
But I thought, bro, you had to put.
I mean, at least it's something. Look, put it this way: it's not nothing, right? That the pages aren't stuck together. That's something, though, right?
That is definitely something. Definitely something.
But yeah, why did they feel? Was it a case of the author didn't notice he was, indoctrinating us?
No, I think he did it on purpose.
Why would he feel the need? Yeah, exactly. Because is it the blind guy? No, it's not the blind guy. It's the guy who does the motorboats. He had another same sort of conversation with him.
Yeah.
And
was it Termite?
Yeah. Termite. What was why did he feel the need to do that? That's what I don't
feel
understand.
like there was other.
They painted him out to be this moral agent.
I put this in my notes as well. Remember the last book we read where I said like the name of the rose when I was like they they put like a facade of religious piety, and then underneath it's all about how science is the real, like, you know, the William was like, I know this because of science, I know this, and everything turned out to basically because of science, some scientific reason. I think this was the opposite. For all like the science that this guy went through in the book, it basically got down to the core theme was only God can mend broken hearts. Basically, that's what they was trying to get back to. And in fact, one of my first notes is we should take a shot every time they quote the Bible or say hearts. We should take a shot. It'd be the best drinking game ever. Having said that, I feel like that was the theme of the book. Only God can mend broken hearts for all your science. Because look how much this guy read to save Emma, and basically,
Yeah.
so I feel like that was a reason for that indoctrination, as you call it. And there were several other examples where he did it, even with termite, even with other things in the book. He just wanted to.
Chapter 18. Oh no, go on.
Yeah, let me go.
Don't feel the need to skip to where I am.
No,
I wanna
I'm
hear
not.
your
I'm going
notes.
back. I said I like how the author gave us a little taste of the character of Annie before dropping the hammer on us when she got hit by the bus.
I thought that was so unrealistic.
I
Like,
didn't
come
know.
on.
I thought it was unrealistic
Like,
in some way, shape,
come
or form.
on.
But I was like, I thought if there'd been like a couple of chapters and then she got hit, then that would have been way better. Because for her to get hit in the moment was ridiculous. It was
Yeah.
definitely ridiculous.
She's got enough problems, you know.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Before you cross the blood,
Like,
blood
bro,
road.
come on, man.
Oh, dear.
I thought, like, in the moment, I thought the sequence of how the events went in terms of, yes, we meet Annie, we find out she's a sweet girl with heart problems or whatever. We care for her a tiny bit, as much as can be allowed from what we saw of her, and then she gets hit by a car. 100%, I said, it's good. You've given us something and then taken it away. 100%, that's good. Execution-wise, could have been better. Like I said, I would have waited a couple of chapters.
Well,
and then-
definitely. Well, this is the thing, right? And I'll tell you why they didn't wait a couple of chapters. Because even with what just happened? Even with this, I said chapter 18, and I'm bored. No action, no information. Not impressed. Not impressed so far, to be honest. That's what I said. That's how I was feeling. But it was slow burner. It was slow burner. So they had to put this stuff in and they had to cram it in. They didn't want to give us a couple of extra chapters. Maybe they could have and made it interesting, made something interesting. But the sequence of the book, you know, he meets them and all of a sudden he's doing all these things for them. That was a bit forced, you know, taking them up to this hospital and
Well, look,
it was a
like
bit
we said,
forced. It
there's
was a
no
bit forced.
point to his existence, bro. This guy's making boats with his blind friend, bro, just to kill time. Like, he has nothing to do. He literally has nothing to do. I don't know why he just didn't become like a cardiologist like the other guy. Like, just start, because you got to put all that knowledge to use somewhere. However you feel about whatever happened in your life, you've got all that knowledge and it's just going to go to waste. You can't feel good about that either. I don't know why he didn't just do that.
Oh, go on.
I thought, where's it gone? I said this had better not be a story where Reese and Annie's aunt console each other over the loss of their respective loved ones by finding warmth in each other's arms. I was just like, this is just gonna.
Oh, so you thought that Annie was going to die early?
I thought Annie was gonna die, and Reese and what's her name, Aunt Cindy.
Oh
was
yeah,
gonna
that's
fuck
something
him.
that I want.
literally
That's
what I thought.
something that I'm very impressed that didn't happen. Very,
Because it was right there. It was there for the taking.
It was so
She
there.
wanted it for the. She
It was so
wanted
there.
It. It was there for the taking.
I'm amazed it didn't happen.
Remember when he was like, "Oh,
Would it not
see if
have-
her boyfriend was gonna," and I was like,
Would it
"Bro,
not? Would it not have? It would have had. Would it not have added another dimension to the book? I'm not saying I wanted it, but I'm just
I
saying.
didn't want it.
I'm not saying. But are we just like that? We just don't want. Not. I don't necessarily not want romance, but I roll my eyes at it. should I
yeah,
say.
I roll my eyes,
But
especially when it's. When
does
it's
it add
cheap.
another dimension to the book?
I think it
If
would've
you was the
given-
agent, would you say yes?
I think it would have given Reese a reason to live other than nothing. So
And it
yes,
would have made.
would've
You
in
know
some
what?
way.
You know what? It would have made sense for him to be going doing all of this. Because why is he even helping them
because
doing
he
all of
likes
this?
her aunt
What?
or
Because he
whatever.
likes the 8-year-old girl. It's a bit.
Do you see what I'm saying?
It's a bit weird. Maybe it should have been a thing.
I was
But
even
if it was
thinking-
in, we would have complained.
Yeah, that's very true. I'm complaining. It wasn't even. It wasn't even in. I'm still complaining.
Once again, a bit of indoctrination instead of philosophy. Main character, I don't even know his name. What's his name?
Reese,
Reese. I didn't know his name until.
bro, that even wasn't his name as well.
Yeah, yeah. It was.
Dr. Jonathan Mitchell.
Yeah. So Reese and Charlie are on a boat and they just restored for a customer. Charlie pulls out a porn mag. But this don't make sense because Charlie's blind. Maybe it wasn't Charlie. Maybe it was Tom.
Man had it in Braille.
You know?
In Braille.
I don't know if we can make jokes now. I don't know if we can make jokes now. Whatever though.
Yeah, it was termite.
It was Termite. So Reese and Termite are on the boat that they just restored for a customer. Termite pulls out a porn mag. where the main character scolds him and says that childbirth is 1,000 times more beautiful than tits and ass. Well, if beauty is in the eye of the beholder, so not only is he demonizing what the other guy likes or finds beautiful, but he's bullshitting. He went on to say that if you don't pick a woman that you love without defining the word love, because he doesn't define it, you could be with a smoking hot girl, you could have mind-blowing sex, but once you finish, she won't mean nothing more to you than your television remote. So the point I'm trying to make is, you know, it's not only is the author just planting these ideas, but if childbirth is, I can't remember what I was saying. I can't remember the point I was making, but the point I'm trying to make is it's indoctrination, and he's basically saying childbirth is 1,000 more times beautiful than tits and ass. It's just an opinion, and he's just telling the other person that's what to believe. So
it's definitely opinion, because like, even let's just to play devil advocate for a second, where would you even get those mathematics from? 1,000? Why not 10,000? Why not 2,000?
Yeah, well,
like, where did you get that number from? For example.
So I don't know. I guess what we just deducted that they're trying to make out that he's this good moral agent.
But to be fair, I don't think they implied that. They straight up told us that he was this good moral agent. He dedicated his whole life to saving some girl. Then he said after that, he said, you know what? It was so nice. I had to do it twice. Dedicate my whole life, the rest of my whole life to saving another girl. I put... you know how I'm always complaining when there's like back and forths in time, like back then and then back now. But it was like a lot of the book was him reminiscing about when Emma was alive.
Yeah, but this is what I thought. Why didn't they just write it in normal time?
Why didn't they just make Emma the girl?
But this in the book. But this is what I'm saying. Why didn't they write that story?
Yeah.
You know? And her dying at the end on the floor with her chest all open.
Literally.
That would have been a good book.
100%.
But then again, doesn't this add another dimension?
It's not a dimension I want though. It's not a dimension I felt is necessary. It's just another dimension for the sake of it. It's not a dimension I feel is necessary. You've also, with the way you've done it, you've also got the whole, really, you're like, it's two girls with heart problems in your life, but it's like, how long is it in your life? Are you finding these? Wait, bro, there's something you're doing.
Stay in your house.
Maybe it's you. Do you see what I'm saying? That it's like this
man's out here breaking hearts.
Do you see what I'm saying? This unrealistic quality of it.
Yeah,
and it's just like,
but maybe,
to go to Harvard, read all these books.
That's the beauty of a book. We can have these unrealistic stories because it will never happen in real life.
It's never gonna happen
we can
in real
experience.
But here's the thing: a lot of what happened in this book can and does happen in real life. So
and that's another thing. The details of the heart thing.
Yeah,
I had to believe. I thought to myself, this book has to be a true story of some. There has to be like elements of true story because who researches about hearts to the level that they did?
Literally, that's my next point.
This is my point. I'm gonna let you go. This book has made me realize that I'm a pussy. I was cringing while they was explaining about Annie's heart. I don't know if it might have not been Annie's, might have been Annie's, I don't know. What was wrong with it in detail. And I was doing well and firm in it until he started saying, in an emergency situation, if the heart has too much pressure, a surgeon has to inject a needle through the chest and through the lungs to pierce the heart, and that was enough. It was too much for me to hear, so I had to skip through that. So very well done from the author. It is literally his job to combine a series of letters to create words to invoke instances of emotions inside the reader. I don't know if a book can be a good book without doing that.
I would 100% agree with that, and I also think when it's a medical book as well, I want to be exposed to the nitty gritty. I want you to turn me off.
Look at Alice Network.
Yeah,
when they had to do something.
No, with the fingers. It was the fingers part.
No, it was the bit when one of the girls, she got pregnant and they had to...
Oh yeah. Brother, I want to be exposed to
you don't remember what was said to you, you remember how you feel.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. See?
People don't always remember what's being said.
Yeah.
Remember how what was said made them feel.
Yeah, exactly. So, there was certain details in the book. Very, very, very impressed.
100%. This was before I knew how the story panned out, but it's still irrelevant now. I said, I get it. Reese is some next level knowledge guzzling medical genius with a catalogue of cardiovascular knowledge stored in his mind. That being said, there had better be some good reason why he's not some top doctor on top doctor money. Because, like, bro, the way this guy was living...
Even when he was top doctor, they weren't making money.
Bro, I don't know why they weren't
about
making
55 grand.
I was like that. Bro, plumbers make more than that. Literal plumbers make more than that.
So, I don't know why. Maybe if he had made too much money, he would be living too much of a lavish life after the death of his wife. And
I would say he deserves it. I say you deserve it.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying it wouldn't have maybe worked for the story because why did he come across this girl, broke girl?
To be fair, I forgot to put this. I forgot to say this, but even a bit where he was talking about the letters that Emma left him, and then he was like, "Oh yeah, next year I looked at the letter. Next year, I was like, we skipped like 4 years within 4 sentences. I don't really like it. I don't like that. I was just like, we skipped 4 years. You just basically you haven't started your story where it begins. That's your problem. You fucked up because you didn't start your story where it began.
Would you not just open all the letters one time though?
Probably. I personally think that would have been less of a fairy tale, but it's far more realistic. Somebody probably would have just bang.
One year.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Wait 4 years so we can lose it.
Because
you're right.
Look, put it this way: when your next wife comes along,
do you see what I'm saying?
You're gonna be, oh, I need to open up my. She's gonna be like,
yeah, nah. Literally, she's gonna be giving you cider.
I said, okay, I think this book is something special. Chapter 27, The Operating Room. It was a great scene, not to mention it was orchestrated by the senior doctor. So this is where the doctor pretended to faint.
I had a joke on him.
Pretended to faint.
I had a quote,
but the reason why this book is something special is because they've kept the main character so mysterious to the point that we are halfway through the book and we're only finding out now that he's been to surgeon school.
Yeah.
Now this means he's probably going to be the one to perform the surgery on Annie. Yeah.
I thought that was very good, but I also put, like, did the patient, who was called Jimbo, did he know the trick that Dr. Trainer was playing in the ER? Because there was Dr. Trainer, I think.
Well,
did he know the trick he was playing? Because he's here, chest open, bro. He thinks my man's about to perform surgery. Then he sees him collapse. Then he sees the junior come up.
Yeah, but what I will say, right, is the doctor who pretended to faint, not only did he not faint, but he also only usually lets the students do just a tiny bit of it.
Yeah,
and he gets back up.
And then he gets back up.
And
that's what
also, it is good training for the students as well, so that they have some experience of high pressure scenario. Because it's not, because the thing is high pressure already. But to know you're not ready, or you know what you're doing, but you've never, took charge and led.
You're as prepared as you're gonna be.
You can basically, what I'm trying to say is he's putting the students in a position that they would never be in, or he's orchestrating something to create a high pressure situation that they wouldn't, so it's good training.
I think he definitely is good. He definitely is good.
Don't do it on me though.
Yeah, do you understand what I'm saying? Like, not me. Do the guy after me, 100%. Imagine you're in the dentist, you lie down in the chair, they put you under the gas as well.
And just before you go under the gas, you see the man faint.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, nah, not me, please. Not me, please.
I said, this has to be a true story, either about the Annie or the story about Emma, because it feels very detailed, especially about what it feels to be a surgeon, or it feels like to be a surgeon. He said he developed a God complex, not just because he saves lives for a living, but because in surgery he is in complete control. Everybody does exactly what they are told without question, and he answers to nobody. Not to mention he saves lives. He brings people back from the dead.
You can't say that enough, innit? You can't emphasize that enough. Like, bringing people back from the dead. That's genuinely the closest thing you can get to being God on this earth. He's actually bringing people back to life.
Yeah, from the dead. You think you are God, honestly.
That's what I'm saying. You got the flat line, and then he brings her back to life. It's the closest thing you could get to being God, in my opinion. What was my next note? Do you think, and you even touched on this a little bit, do you wonder if the author actually has medical experience, or do you think he just studied intensely for this book? Because there's no way, one of the two is true. One of those two is true. There's no way he blanked his way for.
You wouldn't bother. You would not research for a. I mean, look. The idea, the skeleton of the story is not that great for you to dedicate years of your life or months of your life to study. You could just write about anything instead. You know,
he must have.
I'll be like, there has to be.
He's just happened to have read loads of books on the heart or whatever. Because the way he was explaining it in detail, the detail that he had, where he was literally just like, the septums and the pulmonary valves and the ventricles and the left ventricle and the atrium. I was just like, I didn't know my heart had any of that shit. Didn't know it had any of that shit. And it was ridiculous. And he was explaining like what the diseases are called. Like when this happens, it's called this, and when that happens, it's called that.
Thoroughly impressed with the details.
Explained what anemia was. I've heard of anemia. I didn't know what it was until you explained it. So there's no way. I personally think one of the two is true. Either he was a doctor before he was a writer, or he studied intensely for the book.
Chapter 30, and I realised we have a Maltese mind blower complex. I'll explain that after. Why did the author write this story in a way where we know that Emma dies? Would it not have been better to not know what happens? Could that have been the main and only story? Does it make the book 3D to time skip between the two? And what the Morty's Mind Blower Complex is a show called Rick and Morty, a very good sciencey cartoon show. And basically Morty's Mind Blower is an episode where they go through the memories of Morty, and basically in each memory they could make an episode on that, because each memory, it was so good, you know, they could make an episode. So they wasted like 30 ideas for episodes. So what I was trying to say is that, you know, he wasted a story. Arguably, he might have wasted a story because we knew that Emma dies because she's no longer there. Obviously, we're experiencing it.
So he just threw it away, basically.
He threw it away. He could have made 2 books.
That's a good point, to be fair. But I just feel like if you go down that route, if you pull that thread, you're gonna arrive at a conclusion. Like, why don't we just make Emma the character instead of Annie? Like, why is Annie's character necessary?
Because it would have been. I'm telling you, I've actually touched on it. I'm gonna wait.
There was even somewhat similar characters. They even basically did the same thing. They were basically provided the role of, I am Reese's moral compass, in the sense that I'm gonna remind him that hearts are special. Is essentially what the purpose they serve.
And I like the book. I think it's a very, very, very good book, but it definitely needs some work in certain areas. I'm going to touch on it later. But the character building of Emma should have been better. We didn't really give a fuck about Emma. We should have loved her.
I cared about Emma because they didn't go on. Reese cared about her.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah, exactly.
But there's no.
I don't even know if did they go on a date.
Bro, you know what I mean? Even when it was like, when he was like, Emma was coughing or whatever, or she was like strangling in her sleep, and he was like, I ran to my wife's side. I was like, I forgot you guys was married. Real,
like there was no.
Does she even like you like that? I don't know.
There was no comedy humor between the two. They were joking, nothing, man.
It was just him with her with the pigeons or whatever. Wait, was it the cricket? Sorry. Wait, no, that was Annie. That was Annie. But they was it her with the birds outside the window or whatever?
That was Annie. She was
like, was that Annie? Yeah, see, bruv, they're the same character. They're legit the same character.
That's because you're listening with your heart. You're not listening with your heart.
Yeah,
I think that was kind of
what I'm saying?
Philosophical though.
I was like, it's getting to the point now where it's like every third thing one of these women say is about how hearts, and not.
And it's indoctrination anyway.
Do you see what I'm saying? I was like, every third thing you say now, we get it.
You don't.
We get it.
You don't. Well, do you know what? I think they said something along the lines of people who have heart transplants act differently.
Maybe
they not completely differently. They're not a different person. They're the same person, but they said they have feelings or memories that they didn't have before. Not really, but basically they were trying to say that you do think with your heart, or you feel with your heart, this, that, and the other, and really you don't.
It goes back to what you said.
That's in it. Yeah, in itself,
it's a different school of thinking.
Yeah. That's literally what it is. Because obviously we don't think or feel from our hearts. It's all from our heads.
Yeah, scientifically, it is the brain.
Yeah,
it's literally the human brain.
Chapter 31. Did he make the right decision by giving Shirley the heart and not Emma, his own wife? Shirley's 40 years old. Seems to me she done lived her life. Maybe the writer missed the trick by not having Emma beg for the heart. It could have forced him to. It could have made the choice more impossible. Because he wanted to give Shirley the heart, and Emma could have been like, your own wife, I badly need this. Like, what's he? He's a fucking idiot. Who's not giving that to their wife?
Not only that,
the whole point of you doing that was say it's your wife, leave the bro. She's gone.
I need Shirley, bro. Allow it. I even said, I think it would have made the character a bit more realistic as well. I think a lot of the characters were too pure, like too angelic. You know, when you read read a story, it's like the characters, they got a toilet, they don't do swear, they don't nothing, they don't do anything. Yeah. And it's like, if Emma had been like selfish in that moment, it would have been like, yes, that's a human that I could actually relate with, because he was selfish, isn't it?
I wouldn't even necessarily say it's selfish. They both need it.
But she wants to live. That's it. Like,
one's
sometimes
not more entitled than the other for it. And most people go with, like they say, younger people. They ain't lived their life. Emma ain't had no kids. This girl's had the kids. She's lived it. She's lived the life.
She has got people that depend on her to live.
Yeah, there is that. There is that. But he definitely should have milked it, though. You know, he definitely should have made them.
I personally just don't think it's realistic that he would ever have picked anyone to have that heart other than Emma, because his whole reason for existing up to that point was her. Literally her. His best friend. He made best friends with Charlie because of her. Like, his whole life now revolves around her. Is her.
You nearly done.
I'll
go again. Chapter 35. Emma dies on her kitchen floor. Reese is performing open heart surgery with power tools. Probably one of the best pieces of writing that I've cast my eyes on. It had everything. The gore, the suspense, the desperation of him repeatedly shocking the girl. It was beautiful. My nipples got hard. Would that not have been 10 times better if we didn't know Emma dies?
Yeah, nah.
That would have been shock factor.
Literally,
you know?
it would have been like the final scene where we expect Emma to survive.
Yeah.
That's what it would have been.
Couple issues though. Did he not think that he might need surgical tools in his house with extra pints of her blood in case something like this happened?
Because he knows she's on critical life support.
You know,
she was on.
Secondly, considering the fact that we don't really give a fuck about Emma's 2D character, I actually felt something when she died. Why was Emma 2D? Because I don't remember them going on any dates, no lovey-dovey sex scenes. I commend the lack of sex scenes, but their relationship did need more work. There could have been a pregnancy that she would have had to abort because her heart can't handle it. Like, there's so much things they could have put in, and the writer did not. And we had a few boring chapters before when I said, I'm bored, I don't want to read anymore, whatever. But, that scene, I might go back to it.
To be fair, the distribution of stuff in terms of chapters was very not good. Like, there was loads of chapters where very not good. It's
these writers, eh?
Literally very not good. There was like whole chapters where nothing happened, and there was chapters like this where everything happened. I was just like, if you spent a little of the time where nothing happened, like setting things up, could have made way more of an impact, like you said, for example. But again, if I rewrote this, honestly, Annie wouldn't be in it. Emma would just be that character, and then she would have died when she died, and scene.
Yeah.
That is legit exactly what happened. I wrote down a quote. I can't remember why I wrote this quote. I just thought it was good. You don't study the counterfeit to know the real thing. You study the real thing to know the counterfeit. And I said that is a bad boy quote. I don't know why it hit me so hard, but I said that is a bad boy quote, 100%.
Chapter 46. And I'm loving it. The suspense. Is Annie going to make it until they find her heart? It's amazing considering not much work has undertaken for us to give a fuck about Annie. But, you know, I said, I do have an issue with how believable this story is. I mean, the chance of Annie bumping into the best surgeon known to man while selling him lemonade and then getting hitting by a truck, all in the same moment, it is unrealistic. What would have been more believable would be for the mother to have been an attractive woman, and it's not a mother, it's an auntie, but mother, to be an attractive woman who attracts down John Mitchell and covertly seduced him and played him like a fiddle to eventually get him to perform the surgery. She could then break his heart at the end.
Bro, she would have been the best mum of all time if that had happened. She would genuinely have been the best parent of all time, like number one, numero uno.
Yeah,
like,
I don't know if that's believable, but I think it might be a bit more believable than, you know,
just circumstance.
Yeah,
because basically what we've got is circumstance. Like you said, like she bumped into like a world-class surgeon, then they got hit by a bus as well, which is why I even said it wouldn't have happened in the same chapter. I like that they made her get hit by something, but it's also because the reason you want something to happen to like characters that we like is to make us feel something, but she's already got heart problems, so we're already gonna feel something. She's already faced trauma. So it's like you got hit by a bus as well as having heart problems, as well as being an orphan, as well as being broke. It's ridiculous.
Shall I go? Because I know you've kind of finished.
I've got a couple left. I've only got a couple left.
Alright,
I'm not entirely sure. Who was it that had the vow of silence? I said I'm not entirely sure. I believe that a vow of complete silence for 5 years is possible. Like in modern society, cool. Maybe hundreds of years ago.
What vow of silence? What are you talking about?
Who was it that had the vow of silence? Remember they were talking about the bar, that the religious guy had the bar and he would like cheapskate people on the pints or whatever. They would be like less alcohol.
Are we talking about the other book?
No, this book. The bar that the guy had, and he was like, when people ask for alcohol or whatever.
He waters it down.
He waters it down or whatever. Yeah. And then he was like, he had a vow of silence for like 5 years, and I was like, do you think a vow of genuine complete? Because they even asked him, do you mean complete silence? He said yes. So do you think a vow of complete silence is genuinely possible? Because I don't think it is. Like, if I said to you now, you can't speak until 5 years.
When
from
you say,
now.
is that's not speaking is not a vowel silence.
But
Do you
that's what they are. They clarified. They asked him, "Do you mean you didn't speak
No,
for 5 years?"
but that's not silence. You people go, ow, this and the other.
Oh yeah, no, I mean silence.
Yeah, so I don't think it's possible.
That cannot be
You could-
possible. So
you,
when
you could snore, you know, you could talk, sleep talk, you know, you wouldn't even know it. So no, I don't think it's possible. But yeah, chapter 50, the beginning of the end. This is a fantastic book, and I actually don't want it to end. And it really should have been longer. There should have been more character development. And I'm not saying the characters aren't developed, but I just think that there should have been more. They keep making statements such as Annie has touched everybody's hearts and she's loved by all, and there's no reason for it to be, and there's really no
other
reason
than
for
that bus driver, obviously.
yeah, there's really no reason for them to love her other than her heart problems or feeling sorry for her, really. The author could have really made her into an outstanding person in the community, somebody who volunteers or cooks for the homeless or something. Reese seems like a saint. He could have. Oh, Reese seems like a saint. He could have been having an affair at work or something. You know, his missus ain't giving him anything at home. You know, him with his God complex, he could be tearing it up at work. What them women wouldn't do to have you save their child's life?
Yeah, nice.
You know, accelerate people on the waiting list. What? He could be like, he could bust in the room. Yeah, I could save your daughter's life, but I'm taking your wife tonight.
In fact, you know what's funny? He even said, like, remember when he was like operating on Emma in the house? Not when she died, the time before, when he was even like, all we have to do is like 2 minutes, get her to a hospital, yada, get her a heart. I was like, get her a heart. You sound like you've got that shit lined up already, you know? But then I was like, oh, he's a doctor. Like, bro, he could do those things.
Yeah, I said, I'd be like, yeah, I could save your daughter's life, but I'm taking your wife tonight. If a doctor ever said that to me, I'd be like, I can have another. All the free.
All the free. He said, I'll find another. I'll find another. All the free from Game of Thrones, boy. It's funny you should say that, because I have a comment where he said, you know, Charlie said if blind or crazy people didn't rant and rave, they'd have nothing to do but die. That's basically what he said. That was a story that he was telling Annie. And I was like, it's funny because it reminded me of the guy from Simpsons movie. He said, you ever try going mad with that power? It's boring. Nobody listens to it.
Reese is an idiot and he doesn't learn. Give the girl the dodgy heart. Buy yourself 5 years. Surely that's better than not even knowing if you're gonna make it through the day today.
Literally, man.
The man put the girl to sleep and woke her back up. I'm giving, if it's my child, you're getting dodgy heart for now.
Literally,
It
because
works.
your heart already dodgy, bro.
Fine, but you need another surgery.
Brethren, your heart's already dodgy, bro.
Yeah, because you can't be was it one bird in the hand's better than two in the bush?
Yeah, bird in the hand.
You know what I mean?
Worth two in the bush. 100%.
You know, I said, I mean, it's not like they're broke. I know in the US you have to pay for healthcare, but Reese has loads of money. So if it was me, I wouldn't be doing an Emma again.
That's why you even got that 100k from flipping beginning of the book. What else talking about? Although I said the message of the book was the whole, you know, only God can mend broken hearts and things like that, I feel like a possible side point of the book could have actually been, and this is going to sound strange, but clap for the NHS. Should have been like clap for the NHS. The reason why I say that is because the message of the book is remarkable. Doctors being overworked and doing double or triple shifts on stimulants is all too common. They always talk about it on the news. They always talk about it in the NHS. And that is literally the reason, like, Reese worked so hard for his whole life. All them hours at the library when he was a child, all them hours reading all those books, even at Harvard, when he was telling people, what are you going to teach me about the human heart? And they thought like he was being like a dickhead, basically, when he was looking to save Emma. All of that for him to basically oversleep is essentially what it came down to. Overslept because he was on stimulants.
You can have all the power and
you literally
and be able and unable to save the people.
Maybe that was his lesson about the God complex thing. Like, as much as you feel like God, you are not God. Like, you're gonna make mistakes, and his mistake was oversleeping, which is the dumbest reason. Well, not a dumb reason, but it's the worst reason ever to lose something important to you because you overslept.
Yeah. I am telling you with absolute certainty that after reading this book, I could perform a heart transplant. Jokes aside, I'm very impressed with how detailed the surgery is. And my last note is, my God, I'm in shock. And he died. That's what I when she did die. I said I didn't think the rat had the balls You know,
Yeah,
I was shocked. I said,
You
what?
wicked man. You wicked man.
I was like,
You're not seeing Paradise. They couldn't kill
yeah.
off Annie
I was
if you
thinking,
wanted
I
to see
said, this is a
Paradise.
fantastic book, straight to the top of the list, and they've ruined it. She's somehow alive because he whispered in her ear, "Roll's eyes," and it's a stupid title too.
Do you know what's funny? It would have actually been better if the surgery had just worked as opposed to the way they brought her back to life. If they had just, if she had just lived normally,
Yes.
it would have been
So
way
what is
better
this?
than her dying, thinking was gonna get that moment and then taking it away.
And
bringing
then,
her back.
and I said, and it's a stupid title too. Why?
The crickets was in there for like one scene.
Yeah. Like, what was
was
that? Like, what was that title?
I think there's so much pressure on people. Remember the name of the rose? Why was that called that? There's so much pressure on authors, or authors put pressure on themselves to pick like a clever title.
Do you think it's just there's so many titles gone already? Like,
there's that
good
as
ones are
well?
gone.
There's that as well, to be fair, because there's nothing new under the sun now. Like if you call your, for
This book
example,
was original,
I'm
though.
writing a novel called Crossfire. How many books do you think there are called Crossfire?
Probably a lot.
Incalculable, probably incalculable. But I'm definitely gonna have to change the title at some point. Crossfire is gonna be a part of it. But anyways,
It's not catchy as well. It's a bit.
it's something you've heard so many times. It's not interesting anymore. It's a word you've heard so many
It's
times.
not the right title though. To be fair, I think
Look, it could be worse, but I'm just saying.
Yeah,
Like,
of course
there's
it
sometimes authors put pressure on themselves. I need a title that's gonna stand out or whatever, which is gonna get harder every single day. You want to be an author, you don't finish your book.
Yeah.
It gets harder to pick a title
New
that's
books
gonna
are coming
stand.
out every day.
Bro, every 20 minutes, literally some of these publishers, they're cranking them out. So like, bro, I don't
Some
know.
of these books are read like they're made in 20 minutes.
Yeah, I've
But
read a
yes,
couple like that.
the book was fantastic. I thought it was fantastic.
really
I
good.
thought it was very, very good.
I thought it was
very
really good, but
quality.
I thought it got better. The second half of it was a lot better than the
Oh,
first
of course
half.
it was. The first half wasn't even good. I didn't even want to finish reading it. I was
Yeah,
bored.
nah.
But sometimes they've got to bore you to then really,
Yeah.
interest you. Because it's like watching Transformers, fight scene all the way through the film, bam, 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 bam. But if you have boring, and it gradual build up, then orgasm. I don't know why I said that. Yeah.
It's the pacing of your tone. You knew what you were saying, bro.
But yeah, I thought it was very, very good.
Where do you rank it in the books we've read?
I think it's the best one.
I was hoping. Do you know why I asked him that off camera? I was hoping he would change his answers by now.
No,
it's
it
not
was
number
really-
one. It's not number one.
Look, we need to find some time. As I said,
Yeah.
we need to go through our notes. I've done a list for network. I don't know if we're doing our link up later on or whatever.
Yeah.
We need to go through it together, one by one, reel off things to relive the book. Because I
Yeah.
don't want to read it again, but to relive the book.
Oh, I'm
And the
not
book
reading
was
any of the books
good.
we've read again. I'm not reading any of them again.
The book was good. I wouldn't read the name of the rose.
Bro, that's the one.
It'd have to be gunpoint. It'd have to be
Legit,
gunpoint.
bro.
Yeah.
You would have to gunpoint, and everyone I love would have to gunpoint as well.
And I still
If it
wouldn't.
was me, I'd
and I
just be like,
still
shoot me.
wouldn't.
If it was me, I'd be like, shoot me. It's the same thing anyway.
That's same thing. Shoot them.
I'm like, shoot. It's the same thing. Shoot me.
But yes, that's it. That's us.
My.
Is there anything else you want to say?
What do you rate out of 10? I know you don't do out of 10, but if you had to give it out of 10. To be
There's
fair,
room for improvement, but I thought it was a very, very good book. It was, I would say definitely without a shadow of a doubt, it's the best book we've read if the girl died at the end. But because they done that weird thing.
they already killed off Emma, bro. Like, come on.
No,
They
but
killed
it was,
some-
no, they did. But it would have been better if they killed both.
Oh, yeah.
And Reese too. And this one. And that one.
And the bus driver, bro. Like, because we never found out what happened to him.
Yeah,
but,
he just got off.
he just got
through.
off, literally. He had a
kept
great
going.
lawyer, boy. He had a great lawyer.
But yeah, I think it's the best book we've read. And out of 10, I don't know.
I will give it a 6 out of 10. I'd give it a
6?
6 out of 10.
That's
Yeah,
6.
I'd give it a 6 out of 10.
That's average.
And the reason, no, it's not. It's slightly
Five
above
is-
average. It's
that's-
slightly
that's
above
not
average.
slightly above average book.
6 is slightly above average.
That's
5
not,
is average.
that is not a slightly above average book.
It was half a really good book. It was half a really good book, and the other half I did not care for. Therefore,
But that means it can't be. When you say you didn't care for, that means it was terrible.
no, it wasn't terrible. It's just I didn't care
So
for it.
if you were to rate that rubbish half, what would you say? 5?
Oh, like 3. Like nothing happened. Like I said, nothing happened.
Yeah.
Nothing happened. And in the second half, everything happened. And then even in the second half, like if you're gonna write half a good book, the good half better be perfect, and it wasn't.
Yeah, but
So-
it was only not perfect because of
'Cause they didn't kill off Annie.
No, it was only not perfect because of the first half of the book because of what it was missing. It should have had more character development.
Exactly. So he sabotaged himself. 6. That's what you get for sabotaging yourself.
5.
6. Since
Keep
you're arguing,
talking.
exactly. Since you're arguing 4.
Are you really serious?
Yeah, 6. I'm giving it a 6 out of 10.
Oh my
I've decided,
gosh.
like, okay, cool. Do you know what? If you want me to revise some of my earlier rates for books, I will, because probably I've been too liberal with some of
Yeah,
those.
well, this is the thing. This is
But
what
having
happens.
said that,
this is
if
why I
we're
don't. This
starting
is
the
why I
honest
don't
from
do.
today,
This is why I
6.
don't do
Yeah.
out of 10s because it doesn't make sense. You can't compare this. This is miles better than some of the books.
Not
we've
only
read.
that, but when you do it out of 10, you've only really got 3 or 4 numbers to work with. It's not room. There's no room in it. If
What
that
do you
makes
mean?
sense.
There's 10 numbers. What
No,
are you
no, no.
talking
You've
about?
got. You're never gonna be like. It's good. Do you know how bad it's got to be for you to be like 2? 2
Or
out of 10?
0.
Yeah, do you see what I'm saying?
You're
Or
never
anything
gonna
like
say
that.
0.
You're gonna say anything from 6 to 9. Basically, is what you're
You're
gonna
never
say.
gonna say 10.
You're never gonna say 10, and you're never gonna say 0. So that's 2 numbers you've lost already. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That's.
You're not
L
even gonna.
from saying.
We're not gonna read something that's a 2. So
You
it's
see,
gonna
I'm
be
not going to
3.
finish some of them. So it's going to be 5 or 6 to 9. That's essentially what you're
You
working with.
see
So
why,
it needs to
this
be
is
a
why I
better.
say these are stupid.
You might have a
Out of
point.
10s, it's
You might have a
it's
point.
stupid. I've always said it's
You
stupid.
might have a point, but you've never explained why you think it's stupid.
Yeah,
You've just said
because
don't
you
wanna
can't
do it.
compare. You watch a was it Long Road to Freedom or Nelson Mandela film, and then
Yeah.
you rate it against a Marvel film out of 10. It's like you can't compare those. What? Like the Avengers is it's an 8 out of 10, and then what's Nelson Mandela 8 out of 10 as well.
Well, look,
It's like,
based
come
on,
on.
maybe if you rank it based on the enjoyment that it gives you, or based on what you get from it, as opposed to effects or the level of
You have
effort
to rate everything. You got to
believe.
rate storyline.
But to be fair, true stories are cheating. To be fair,
Oh, it's cheating.
movies with true
Movies
stories-
are cheating where anything can happen.
No, I'm
That's
saying
cheating.
movies with true stories are cheating because it's like it took no imagination. Like this is a true story.
Still creativity that goes into it. But
Of
we're getting
course.
off topic. We're getting off topic. Anyway, we got to go. We'll leave you guys to it.
100%.
You know, the book was is better than us.
Every week we promise
Sick
we're gonna
in his
have.
mind.
Every week we promise
Yeah.
we're gonna have the next one. We never actually do, but
I didn't even try.
Next-
Oh wait, no, we do.
oh yeah, we do. This time we actually do. Yeah,
we
it
do.
literally is.
Iron
What's it called?
Flame.
Iron Flame.
Fist.
I hope it's not called Iron Fist because that would be plagiarism of the highest order. I think it's Iron Flame.
Yeah, I think it's Iron Flame. Iron Flame by Rebecca Yarros. So yes,
See,
I
you
do
got
know.
it.
Yes.
Well, we already did Rebecca Yarros. So that's cheating.
Yeah.
You gotta know.
So we're
order.
doing the second installment. So yes, I've already started it, and you haven't. And it's
Whoa.
a long book.
How do you know I haven't?
I know you haven't
How do you know it's a long book?
because
What do you? What? How many pages are we talking?
It's the longest book we've.
Okay.
It's longer than the Name of the Rose.
I'm gonna have to get started immediately.
That's why I told you.
Right,
I
as
told
soon
you,
as we
we're not
hit
gonna be
the-
ready. We're not gonna be ready for next week.
They don't know
not
what
like-
next week is. It's mine now.
Christmas.
Pretend we was. Oh yeah, they're gonna be busy anyways.
All right, cool. We gotta go. We're wasting your time. Thank you very much.